As we all know, taking care of our environment is crucial, and not only for our health, but also for general cleanliness. Now, as important as it may be, collecting rubbish can be a tedious activity, especially for young people. So then, how about turning this exercise into fun and games? Now, the answer lies with SPOGOMI. It is a sport originating in Japan back in 2008 by the representative of Social Sports Initiative under the slogan, "Trash Pickup is a sport," one that makes a city beautiful and helps the environment. Now, on the 24th of August in Durban, South Africa, will play host to a qualifying round for the SPOGOMI World Cup of 2025. Teams will compete in collecting trash, and those with the highest points in total will travel to Tokyo in October to compete against 29 countries. For more on this now, we're joined by Les Ellen, the event organizer of SPOGOMI. Thank you so much for your time, Ellen, on the show. So take us through the origin of SPOGOMI. Sounds interesting as it is.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for taking time to highlight this really important issue. SPOGOMI started in 2008. Kenichi Mametsuka in Japan was taking his morning run and was collecting pieces of trash and had the inspiration of turning trash collecting into a team sport. That started a movement in Japan. A number of countries across all prefectures in Japan actually send teams to compete in trash collecting. We're giving a space of around about 1 kilometer radius from a given point, and teams are sent out in teams of 3 to collect as much trash as they can. Now, as you highlighted, some trash is worth more than others because some trash does more damage to the environment than other trash does. For example, cigarette butts. One cigarette butt, when it breaks apart in the ocean, can cause much more damage than a single plastic bag can. So teams are incentivized to collect more of the damaging trash that actually moves its way into the ocean. And this is an initiative supported by the Nippon Foundation and their Change for the Blue initiative, which is to help keep our oceans clean. 80% of all ocean waste has a land-based origin. So this is something to highlight the damage to the environment and how we, even as a team of 3, can have a very, very big impact on keeping things clean.
Now, at the top of our conversation, I mentioned that, picking up trash can already be a tedious exercise. I mean, I can relate and tie it down with garbage pickup a day. So just how did you manage to spark interest for this very unique sport?
2 years ago, in 2003, we did have a small qualifier in Durban. We had around about 20 teams come through and picked up over 300 kilos of trash. That was an initiative because of our connections with Japan from other aspects of popular culture and cosplay. They've opened this up to run it as a World Cup now. South Africa was the first African country invited, but now we have Namibia, we have Senegal, a number of other African countries joining, and the hope is by 2030 to have 50 countries around the world all highlighting this issue. And it's not just African countries. The United States is involved, countries throughout South America, throughout Southeast Asia are all involved. And over the entire course of this initiative over the past few years, over 177,000 kilos of rubbish has been collected. And that's rubbish that would have moved possibly into the oceans and done lots of damage. So this is something that we are really pushing as a highlight of even the small effect that a group of people can make.
And just how popular is SPOGOMI in South Africa?
In South Africa, it's still very new. This is our second event running, and we did have some press coverage from 2023's event. So we're going for a bit more all out this year, a lot more social media and media invitations such as yourself. So we're trying to spread more of the word. If you go to our website, spogomiza.info, you can register as a team of 3 for the event on the 24th of August in Durban. And we're taking around about 25 to 30 teams. The team, obviously, that picks up the most trash by point number travels to Tokyo at the end of October to compete in the World Cup against 29 other countries, as you said. And we have great support from the Embassy of Japan in this initiative as well.
And we're seeing the likes of climate change also, putting a spanner in the works as well. And it's games such as these which also promote awareness around that as well. Just moving forward, just how important is having such qualifying games such as SPOGOMI, for instance, in our communities to ensure that, first of all, there's awareness, but also just to get a sense that we're all doing something about it in the fight against climate change.
That's correct. At the end of each of the rounds, to be able to weigh the amount of rubbish that you've collected in just that 1 hour that we compete, it goes a very, very long way. You can see images on the SPOGOMI World Cup website of the sheer amount of trash that was collected in 1 hour in a city like Tokyo, which has a reputation for being very clean. Trash picks up everywhere. Trash accumulates everywhere. So being able to step in and highlight this is probably the biggest advantage to this competition, but giving people an incentive to compete, have fun, share a message, and show what they can do is really, really powerful.
And I'm just so excited about South Africa playing host, to the qualifying round for the SPOGOMI World Cup of 2025 on August 24th in Durban. Maybe just give us again an overview of this event and who's eligible to enter. Are you still taking entries at this stage?
We are still taking entries at this stage. If you go to the website, spogomiza.info, you'll have a registration link there. Teams of 3 of all ages can enter. So this isn't just for adults. We very much encourage kids to come and participate as well. The teams of 3 must move together as a unit. They're given gloves, they're given pairs of tongs to reach into brush and tree areas to get more rubbish out. They have 1 hour, they bring that rubbish back, and then there is a 20-minute weighing period where they get to sort their rubbish out so we can weigh the different types of rubbish. The points are then accumulated, and we have a great time afterwards. We award some prizes, share some beverages, and then we select a team based on those points, and they're going to be flying to Tokyo at the end of 2025. So we'll be starting in the morning, brief initial overrun. Each team will have a judge moving with them to let them know when they're moving in and out of the area, and also just to make sure that they move as a unit. We do have certain rules about how far the teams can move apart from one another. They must all stay within 10 meters of each other to move as a unit to help carry things. So it encourages teamwork to try and get this job done.
Right, I must thank you so much for your time on the program. That's Les Ellen, the event organizer of SPOGOMI, a sport that turns collecting rubbish into fun and games. Thanks very much indeed for your time on the program.